there's no place like home for the holidays. And no matter how far away you roam, if you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays you can.
Welcome back to Horror for the Holidays, Stocking Stuffers. I'm Jeff Searcy.
I'm Jay Logsdon.
And today, Jay, we're going to be blowing your mind.
I know. You messaged me last night about this idea you had. I have no idea what we're going to be doing.
Listen, Jay, there's things out there that people don't understand. And me, as a peak of male fitness, need to explain it to you. And you need to buy my supplements.
As someone who listens to QAA and Behind the Bastards, I'm really excited for what you told me is horror movie conspiracies.
Yes. Have you ever heard of a little movie called The Vast of Night, Jay?
Nope.
Well, you might not have because it's from 2019.
No, that's probably why.
Based on a New Mexico conspiracy theory about aliens.
Oh, I'd believe that.
Aliens, do they real? We'll never know. But yes, they are real.
I mean, aliens is probably the easiest thing to be like, aliens are probably real.
Yeah, I mean, in the vastness of the universe, there has to be some kind of intelligent life somewhere.
But did they crash into a farm in New Mexico?
Yes, Jay, they absolutely did. Anyway, this covers the common conspiracy theory that some sort of UFO crashed in New Mexico and the government covered it up.
All right, yeah, I know that one. I've actually been to Roswell twice.
Ah, a true connoisseur of culture. But yeah, basically, you can roll like a million conspiracy theories into this one because there's like a million different versions of this story. It was a government experiment that went wrong, and there was a zombie virus carried on this craft. And that's why they had to hide it in Area... Oh, that's another one, too, that this covers. Area 51, Jay.
Oh, man.
What they doing in there?
Area 69.
I know what they doing in there. I want to know what they're doing in Area 51.
They don't invite me to Area 69.
Yeah, I don't get that invite either. Even though I'm the peak of male performance, Jay.
We'll post a regular picture of Jeff and then a picture of Jeff after his supplements, and he looks exactly the same, just redder.
Oh, yeah. Well, that redness is my virility coming out, Jay. Used to be able to go for 5, maybe 6 minutes. Now I'm up to 10. Supplements work. So anyway, I mean, I'm sure you've heard a million alien conspiracy theories. This one covers the government covering up a UFO crash and a strange signal emitting from the UFO. And basically some spooky agents who may or may not be aliens themselves try to stop him from revealing the truth.
Ooh.
But I mean, it's a common conspiracy trope that, the whole Men in Black thing, there's a secret government organization out there stopping knowledge of UFOs from leaking out into the public.
Right, yeah. I've seen those movies.
Yes, those documentaries, I think you mean, Jay.
Yeah, I've only seen the first and the third. I've heard those are the only good documentaries. I've heard the other two were bad.
I mean, they can't all be winners, Jay.
I also watched the Saturday morning cartoon documentary.
I was surprised they were able to get Thor for that new documentary they did. For whatever reason, though, he did not act like Thor at all.
I know, really weird.
All right, Jay. So you accept aliens?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think kind of my general thought on like the paranormal stuff or whatever, supernatural stuff. I don't know that I necessarily believe in a lot of it. And I think it's impossible for there not to be life on other planets. But I don't know that I necessarily believe in like ghosts or anything like, ghosts or witches or anything like that. But like at the same time, I'm always like, but wouldn't it be cool if it was real? So I always kind of like keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, the world's more exciting when you think there's like interesting stuff out there. But I don't know that I necessarily believe in all of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I am. I like to hope that there's some kind of supernatural thing out there somewhere. But, I mean, aliens don't necessarily have to be supernatural, so I think they're probably the most likely to actually exist.
Yeah, that's kind of my same thought.
All right, Jay. So you believe in aliens, but what about demons? Literal demons. Kill your children and drain their, I don't know what it's called, the DMT out of their skulls, Jay.
That sounds right enough. No, like I said, I mean, I think it'd be cool if like stuff like that was real, but I don't believe that any of it is real.
Oh, really, Jay? Well, then I have a little documentary for you to check out about
All
the
right.
subject. It's called The Omen.
I do like The Omen.
I mean, can you get any... I mean, obviously, Catholicism is all true. It's the one true religion. And in that religion, Jay, there is an Antichrist who will be born on Earth. Part man, part demon.
And the Silent Knights will have to arrive and use their ninja magic.
We just got done watching a great documentary called Two Front Teeth about the wars going on between the supernatural forces that man the holidays.
Oh man. But no, I mean, The Omen's probably one of my favorite movies. I don't know if I would say The Omen's my favorite demon movie, because I mean,
there's a lot of good ones.
The Exorcist also exists.
Yeah.
And The Exorcist 3 also exists. But it's certainly it might be my favorite. It's hard to say. Also, Amityville Horror is kind of a demon movie. Like, but yeah, love The Omen. Favorite scene is the where the spoiler, I guess, for The Omen, where the maid or whatever, the Damien's teacher hangs herself off the balcony.
All right, Jay.
It's all for you.
Now that you've talked about that a little bit, talked about demons, do you want to know that a demon actually terrorized the filming of The Omen?
I did not know that.
So, it all began in September of 1975. Gregory Peck, who is, of course, the lead actor, was flying to London.
Atticus Finch himself.
Of course. And during the flight, lightning struck the plane. Odd, yes.
Weird. Yeah, that is weird.
Yes, but, it happens. It happens. But the executive producer at the exact same time was flying out of Los Angeles, and his plane was also struck by lightning.
Well, that's a weird coincidence.
At the exact same time. Now, the writer, Jay, 2 weeks later's plane was also struck by lightning while he was en route to the set.
That is a pretty weird coincidence.
And while they were filming the famous shots in Rome of all the ancient Roman artifacts and the Colosseum and everything, and of course the Vatican, the producer was almost struck by lightning. It came within like 6 inches of killing him on the set.
Oh, that's pretty wild.
So something doesn't want this movie to be made, Jay. I mean, lightning, it happens. But to happen on the same movie production to that many people...
4 different people, 4 different times, 4 different places.
It's pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
All right, so, maybe you're like, well, that's a pretty crazy coincidence, Jeff, but I don't think that quite proves demons.
Right.
All right. Well, here we go, Jay. You want to know something about this?
Yes.
So, there was a private plane to bring Peck into the set because they were filming some wide shots in Italy.
Okay.
And it turned out they thought, we don't really need him. So they're going to go ahead and send that plane back. Well, the day of the flight, the day it was supposed to bring Peck to the set, the plane hit a flock of birds, crashed, and killed everyone on board.
Oh, man.
So he narrowly missed dying on that flight.
You know who should have been the pilot? Sully.
Yeah.
He would have landed that plane.
Yeah, Sully would have landed that plane on the side of a mountain, Jay.
He
would have done it.
That hero.
Don't even get me started on that.
You know what I do every day? Miss the birds.
All right, Jay. Well, you're like, it couldn't be that big a deal that a plane... I mean, planes crash.
Right.
It happens. It's spooky timing, but there's nothing worse than that. Well, guess what?
What?
So a plane crashes, right? You think, oh, that'll just be it. But it actually crashed onto a roadway, Jay. And there was a car driving. And guess who was in the car?
Probably Gregory Peck.
No.
Oh.
The wife and children of the pilot.
Oh, wow.
He literally killed himself and his entire family.
Oh, my God.
Now that's pretty spooky.
That is pretty spooky.
It's all the places a plane could crash, and you just happen to hit the car with your family in it.
That is wild.
All right, so, maybe it's just, it's a lot of coincidences. That's not a demon, you say. Well, at the time of filming in 1975, the IRA was bombing London in retaliation, trying to get Irish independence, and for retaliation for, various crimes committed by British soldiers in Ireland.
Right.
So, there's a little uncommon fact about The Omen you might not know, Jay. 2 people were bombed while filming scenes for The Omen. A bomb gutted a restaurant next to a street scene they were filming and almost killed everybody on the set. And Richard Donner, the director's hotel, was bombed literally right after he walked out the door.
Jesus. Oh, wow.
So I'm thinking there may be some kind of demon cursing this movie, Jay.
There might, but, the movie exists, and certainly the fact that, we've never had any issues with any other Omen movie, have we?
It's almost like they were just trying to stop this franchise, Jay, before it could get started. The devil was like, they're on to us, guys.
And then he saw it, and he was like, you know what, that was pretty good.
He's like, I do love Hollywood. All right, now, what if I told you that the animals were also cursed on the Omen?
I did not. Sure, why not?
So, the Rottweilers that they used to portray the Hellhounds, which also actually made the Rottweiler a popular breed to own.
Oh, cool.
Even though they're scary as hell in the movie.
Right, no, absolutely.
So they were perfectly trained, reasonable dogs. They'd done many movies before, but for whatever reason on the set of this movie, they attacked and almost killed their trainer.
Jesus
They
Christ.
literally almost ripped their stunt trainer's throat out.
Damien, whatever his name is.
Now, there's that famous scene where Kathy and Damien drive through the zoo, or like the little park or whatever it's called.
Right.
So there's the baboons, right? Then she has a famous reaction to the horror of the baboon attack. Well, it wasn't an acting reaction. It was a legitimate reaction. Because the baboons had actually gone insane and wouldn't listen to the trainers and were just trying to kill them inside the car.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and guess what? That they filmed at the zoo, Jay. I mean, the zoos are kind of dangerous for like the zookeepers. Well, literally the day they were filming, a lion killed a zookeeper. It's almost like all these animals were stirred up by some kind of demonic force.
Yep.
Jay. I mean, the craziest one to me is the perfectly like reasonable trained dogs turning on their trainer and almost killing him.
No, that's wild.
It's like that's the kind of thing you just don't expect to happen. All right, Jay. Now, Liz Moore was the assistant to John Richardson. John Richardson, of course, is the famous special effects director for the movie.
Okay.
Has done many movies. They were driving along the road in the Netherlands, and just like in the movie, they had a horrible car accident that mirrors the one in the movie. Richardson escaped with just like some minor lacerations to his arms and legs, but his assistant was decapitated by a tire that smashed into the car.
Wow.
Because I believe it's Gregory Peck and that Keith guy that he's palling around with. He gets decapitated also.
Like the pane of glass or
Yes.
whatever scene, yeah.
So yes, 2 decapitations, one in the movie and one in real life.
That's pretty wild.
Oh, and you want to know what else is crazy, Jay?
Yes, I do.
It happened on Friday, August 13th, and the mile marker was 66.6 kilometers away from the town of Omen.
That's pretty wild.
So,
And also, Camp Crystal Lake was right next door, and Jason came out.
I'm not saying that there are demons, Jay, but you could make a compelling case for the Omen being cursed by something.
No, absolutely. That I'm with you on that. One thing you talk about the Omen reminded me of in The Exorcist. I think I have this right. Jeff, you're reading off of a thing. I'm just going off of what I remember.
Yes.
The scene where they're doing like the MRI to Reagan. And like they're and they're scanning her. There's like it turns out that like the lab tech in that scene was actually like a serial killer. I think is what I read one time. Like, and that's pretty wild.
That is pretty crazy.
Already like a creepy scene, and like there's just this guy who like is in like a handful of like shots. Like probably didn't even what was a actual lab tech there to like help run the equipment. And no, this guy was actually like a serial killer or something.
Yeah, that is pretty insane considering the low population of serial killers.
Right.
There'd actually be one in a horror movie.
Like just on accident, like, oh, we need this, we need someone to run this equipment so it looks like they know what they're doing. Oh man, it turns out that guy is a murderer.
So, Jay, you're like, that 1975 Omen sure was cursed. Well, guess what, Jay? The shot-for-shot remake in 2005 was also cursed.
Was it really?
It was. All right, so the producer of the movie. He had 2 filming crews in 2 different locations, and their cameras both exploded.
Oh, wow.
Trying to shoot scenes for the movie. Literally just detonated. So you think, oh, well, crazy coincidence. So there's the actor that plays, Damien. I think he's like Pete Postlethwaite or something like that.
Okay.
So his brother, what do you think happened to him, Jay?
Got decapitated by a tire.
No.
Oh.
He was playing poker on the set.
Uh-huh.
He got dealt 3 sixes
Ooh.
in his poker hand and dropped dead that night.
Oh, my gosh.
Of an unknown cause. So, just casually died after getting the omen mark. All right, Jay. Now, of course, the great actor Liev Schreiber was the lead.
Right.
So the scene that they filmed where he finds the birthmark on Damien, like the pivotal scene at the beginning of the movie.
Right. Where he's like,
yeah.
and Nemo is omen backwards.
Yes.
You named him that.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly, Jay. Good American Dad reference. No, so obviously the devil didn't really give a shit about cursing this one because it was a bad movie anyway.
Right.
But
We've already talked about it once as a bad movie, I think, on this podcast.
Anyway, 13,500 feet of film were just inexplicably destroyed. Nobody knows what happened to it, and they had to reshoot like half the movie.
That's wild.
So, well, it's not that bad, right? Well, Jay, let's get into another thing. So you're like, I don't know if I'm that convinced about demons.
All right, if you're going to tell me, like, the production of The First Omen, that movie that's coming out this year, has also been cursed.
Oh, I haven't got any info on that,
okay.
Jay, but if it was cursed, that would be incredibly interesting. All right. Have you ever heard of the curse of Nanook of the North, Jay?
No.
So Nanook of the North is it's a story about an Eskimo man who makes it big in the big city.
Okay.
It's kind of like you've seen it a million times. Guy from the country comes to the big city, has to get used to all the different things about it.
Mm-hmm. I know the name Nanook of the North. I don't think I know anything about it. Like that, what you just told me is probably the most I've known about it, other than the name.
Well, anyway, they had that, and I believe they did a horrible remake of it with Melissa McCarthy as well.
Okay.
But that's not what we're talking about here, Jay. Anyway, they saw that that was a successful concept, and so they're like, maybe we could find our own book to adapt about an Eskimo man, Jay. So they had the idea to adapt Atuk.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Atuk?
I do. I have not.
It's about an Inuit poet. So he lives in Baffin Island in Canada, and he gets sent to the big city in Toronto. It's, your typical fish out of water thing.
Right.
But apparently in the movie script version, because it's Hollywood, they adapted it to Alaska, and he goes to New York City.
Okay.
Because people are like, what the hell is Baffin Island? Where is Toronto?
Yeah. What's a Toronto?
I don't want to hang out in the six, Jay. Anyway, so that's the basic story. So they're like, let's adapt this. So guess who the first actor they wanted to play Atuk was, Jay?
Gregory Peck.
No.
Liev Schreiber.
No.
I have no idea.
John Belushi, Jay.
Oh, wow.
He read the script, and he was interested. And he was like, okay, I'll do this. Let's have another meeting again in March. And guess what, Jay?
He died.
Yes, the day before his meeting for Atuk, he died. March 5th.
Oh.
Ooh, so you're like, that's not really that big of a deal, right? So guess what, Jay?
What?
They're like, oh, well, we can't get John Belushi. What about Sam Kinison?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, we'll get his shitty brother, Jim Belushi.
No.
He's fine.
Nobody's going to do Jim Belushi, Jay. That's what you go to as your last resort.
He's not shitty. He's fine.
So they put the script back on the market. They're like, maybe we could get Sam Kinison to do this. So Sam Kinison agreed. They filmed about 8 days of it. He didn't really like the way it turned out, and they began to rewrite the script. And so Kinison got some more creative control because he's like, if I can't make this better, I'm going to drop out of the project.
Okay.
And so they're like, okay, we'll put the movie on hold. The movie studio sued him because they're like, you're losing us money delaying this production.
Right.
So the lawsuit ended in 1992, and production was set up again. They had brought Sam Kinison in to negotiate his contract to start filming the movie again. The day after he negotiated his contract, he dropped dead.
And it was March 5th, the same day.
No.
Oh.
It was Friday, April 10th.
Oh, okay. I had it's close, but that's not a coincidence.
People who touch ATUC, Jay, don't seem to last too long. All right, now.
I thought you were going to say Chris Farley.
You might be surprised, Jay.
Uh-oh.
But first, we'll get to the original Chris Farley. I consider the superior Chris Farley, but, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Chris Farley, but John Candy has a special place in my heart. Mm-hmm. John Candy was offered the script. He thought it was great. He's like, oh, man, we gotta film this. So guess what, Jay?
He died.
He died, but he died, so John Belushi died March 5th. He died literally the night of March 4th when it ticked over to March 5th of a massive heart attack.
Oh, wow.
Before he could start filming.
That is pretty wild.
So they're like, huh. I mean, John Candy was a big guy. I mean, he was kind of old, too, for a fat guy. So it's like, well. I mean, but it's still odd that a third lead actor for ATUC would drop dead.
Right.
So they're like, we'll shelve this for a couple years. What about this new up-and-coming guy, Chris Farley, Jay?
Oh, no.
I think Chris Farley would be great. And he was aware that his idol, John Belushi, had been offered the part, Jay.
Right.
So he's like, well, I gotta do this. And he looked at the script, and he's like, yeah, I think this is pretty cool. Anyway, after he read the script, he died.
All right. Someone needs to make a Ring remake, but
So-
it's the script for ATUC.
Basically, what I'm telling you, Jay, is people need to stop trying to make this movie.
I mean, that's 100% for sure.
So guess who they offered it to next, Jay?
Jim Belushi.
No.
Oh, I have no idea.
I wish, because Jim Belushi would be dead. No, I don't.
I know, he would have survived. Like
He would have survived, and the movie would have been terrible, but that's okay.
John Goodman, and the curse was that he gets thinner and thinner and thinner.
John Goodman's weight loss is very disturbing to me, Jay. But no, that's
Okay.
It's another famous actor of size, Jay, who then went on to die shortly after reading the script.
I have no idea.
Phil Hartman.
Oh,
Jay.
jeez.
He took a look at the script and he's like, "Hey, that's pretty good." And guess what? It was a little while after reading the script, he got killed by his wife.
R.I.P. to the GOAT. Phil Hartman was great.
So Jay, I'm not saying that there's a curse, but there's definitely a curse.
Yes, it seems like it.
They have not attempted to remake ATUC since then.
That is pretty wild.
As I say, they need to stop offering it to our fat actors, Jay.
Yeah, offer it to someone skinny.
Yes, offer it to John Goodman now.
But no, John Goodman's great.
No, but he's skinny now, Jay, so he won't die.
Yeah.
And the project probably won't get off the ground anyway. But so you're thinking,
Offer it to Chris Pratt. Perfect. Solved.
I mean, he could. You think he might do it. All right, Jay. So you're like, this all seems pretty suspicious. But I don't know if it really proves the existence of a curse.
You're right. I don't know that this proves the existence of a curse.
I think it does, but whatever, Jay. All right, so let's say you were going to make a wild guess about another conspiracy theory, Jay, that is commonly talked about in the movie and horror industry.
Oh, the guy in Teen Wolf who pulls his dick out at the end of the movie during the credits.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a little cursed movie, Jay, called The Crow.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So you're thinking,
I have seen The Crow.
You're thinking, is the Crow cursed, or is it just the Lee family that's cursed, Jay?
Right.
Because it seems like they might be cursed.
Right.
But yes, everyone knows Bruce Lee died famously. But his son, Brandon Lee, arguably died even more famously. And it was brought up a lot recently with the whole Alec Baldwin killing that lady with the prop gun.
Well, and then there's that new... also, there's that new Crow movie that's coming out.
Yes, that is also happening.
I thought it was going to be brought up. No, isn't it there like something like Bruce Lee starred in a movie where a prop gun was replaced with like a real gun, and then it was supposed to like kill his character, and then Brandon Lee, like that, that's that essentially the whatever happened with that gun happened, and
Exactly, Jay.
so wild.
So you think that's cursed, or do you think the Lee family is cursed? Or you're like, this is not a curse.
I mean, I don't know. I think I think it's a weird coincidence. I don't know that I necessarily think.
But yes, the movie you're talking about is Bruce Lee's final movie, Game of Death.
Okay.
But yes, he's shot by an assassin who's posing as a crew member on the movie.
Right.
And there's also, I don't know if you've ever seen it, Dragon the Bruce Lee story.
I have not seen Dragon the Bruce Lee
But
story.
that turns the family curse into an actual physical demon who comes after them.
Oh my god. Well, now I have to see it.
Yes. So, you know,
However, in my head, I'm sure, like, I'm picturing, like, a guy in, like, a devil outfit stalking the Lee family.
that would be amazing.
But in all actuality, it's probably something like, I don't know, like a dude in, like, a trench coat and, like, a black hat who, like, every time they see him, something bad happens or something. But my idea is greater.
I agree. All right, so you think, that's not really that bad of a curse. I rate that one pretty low on the curse scale.
Right.
But I mean, it's a weird coincidence.
It is really strange.
That his dad's last movie would literally be predicting his own death. But, you know, maybe you could be like, I don't know. I don't know if movie-based curses are real, Jay. Well, guess what? I got a crazy conspiracy theory for you that's actually not a conspiracy theory. It's actually been proven to be true.
Okay. It's
So-
the Von Erich family. I saw Iron Claw. Yeah, that movie was real sad.
That does seem like that family is cursed.
It does.
I'll be honest. That does seem like a curse. to
Although
me.
although they're wrestling, the grandsons the grandsons are wrestling now, with the one brother that is still alive, Carrie. Yeah, I think that's right. And they've been wrestling on AEW kind of regularly lately.
Interesting.
Man, what a heartbreaking movie! That like
That was rough.
me knowing exactly what's going to happen, and I still left the theater like, holy shit, that wrecked me.
No, it was. My brother and I went to see it, and we were like, wow, I think that family really is cursed. But no, Jay, it's about one of the most famous actors of all time. Can you get a hint of who this is, Jay? Pilgrim?
Oh shoot, what's that guy's name? Clark Gable? No, it's John Wayne. I know.
So, The Conqueror, Jay. Have you heard of this movie?
I have not.
So, The Conqueror was John Wayne playing Genghis Khan.
Okay.
He plays the famous Mongol leader. They filmed it mostly out in the desert. But unfortunately for them, Jay, they filmed downwind of a nuclear testing site, which nobody knew at the time because obviously it was top secret. And back in 1956, they did not understand that radiation could be carried on the wind.
Mm.
And so I believe it was 28 crew members would die of cancer after working on that movie, including John Wayne himself.
That's insane. that is ridiculous.
I was looking up movie conspiracy theories for this Stocking Stuffers Day, and I found that one. I'm like, well, that's not really a conspiracy. I mean, they pretty much proved that happened.
Right.
I mean, it was a conspiracy at the time.
But yeah, now it's a fact.
Yes.
turns out nuclear radiation can give you cancer.
All right, Jay. You want to know another cursed movie?
Yes.
Rosemary's Baby.
Okay.
Cursed to hell.
All right.
Anyway, apparently the curse of Rosemary's Baby destroyed Mia Farrow's marriage to Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
She was actually served divorce papers while she was on set.
Oh wow.
And she blamed the movie for that. Which I don't know how accurate that is, but whatever.
I don't know if other weird stuff is going on, maybe.
But anyway, director Roman Polanski, Jay, was warned in a letter from a fan that making Rosemary's Baby would spell disaster for him.
Ooh.
And guess what happened? I believe it was 2 months after he finished filming. Sharon Tate was murdered by the Manson family.
Oh, yep.
So I almost wonder if maybe that was a member of the Manson family who wrote that letter to him.
It might have been.
But it seemed like an odd coincidence for people working on another demonic movie to have such bad luck.
Right.
Which, I mean, Mia Farrow's all dramatic about it, but it's like, yeah, having somebody divorced you is not really the same as having your wife murdered.
But that is pretty wild.
Yes. And it's like, so another demonic movie, Jay, The Exorcist, which you mentioned earlier.
Right.
9 people died during the shooting of The Exorcist.
Wow.
It's actually, there was a 1973 documentary about the curse of The Exorcist. Let me just pull up my notes here real quick.
Okay.
But I mean, we're getting some some interesting curses going on in these demonic movies. All right. So, before they even started filming the movie, problems would begin to arise, Jay.
Okay.
A catastrophic fire almost completely burned down the set that they were getting ready to shoot on. Because people were like, oh, well, fires happen. Maybe it's just bad luck on this one.
Right.
But looking back, people were like, no, I think that was the start of the curse. So, some people say William Friedkin was a believer in the paranormal. What he kind of held a stance similar to you, Jay. He's like, I'm not saying I necessarily believe in demonic possession, but I know there are things in the world that we can't understand and conditions that can't be treated by medicine or psychiatric means. So he's like, I'm not ruling it out, that it's impossible that it exists. But he believed that The Exorcist was cursed.
And R.I.P. William Friedkin passed away recently, correct?
Yes, he did. Okay, so obviously we know the horrible fire burned down the house pretty much that they were going to film in. Mm-hmm. The only part of the house that survived the fire was Reagan's bedroom.
Oh, creepy.
Pretty creepy. Anyway, so that set him back 6 weeks rebuilding the set. So, the set, everything's back on track. We bring in famous actor Max von Sydow, Jay. Mm-hmm. Guess what happened?
What happened?
When he was preparing to film the movie, his brother died.
Oh, wow.
And he had to go back to Sweden for the funeral, which delayed the movie again. And then the child star Linda Blair, Jay, who was playing, of course, the famous Reagan, her grandfather died, causing yet another delay. And she had to go back to his funeral. Now, there was that, that famous demon statue that they filmed with in Iraq.
Yeah, the Pazuzu.
Guess what happened to it, Jay?
I assume it got destroyed.
It was lost in transit, and they had to make another one before they could continue filming.
Oh, wow.
Delaying the movie yet again. But, that's like, oh, well, those are inconveniences. But I think something may have been trying to stop them from making this movie, Jay. So when they decided to go ahead with it anyway, the things ratcheted up. So, let's talk about some deaths, Jay. So, Ellen Burstyn, who plays Reagan's mother, she was a firm believer that this production was cursed. So, Jack McGowan, Jay, he was in the movie as the film director Burke Dennings.
Okay.
He's one of the characters that gets killed by the demon-possessed Reagan. He mysteriously dropped dead after filming his scenes.
Oh, wow.
People speculated it might have been the flu, but they never really conducted an autopsy, so nobody's sure. But awful weird for a 50-year-old guy to die of the flu.
Yeah, that is strange.
But so there's that little death. Also, a lot of injuries on the set before we get to some other deaths. People were chopping off toes, chopping off thumbs. Somebody lost an arm trying to rebuild the set after the fire. Seems kind of suspicious to me, Jay.
That does seem weird.
So, Linda Blair, when she's doing her convulsions as she's floating up off the bed, she's in a harness. Well, she fractured 3 of the lower vertebrae in her harness while she was doing that, and it literally cursed her with scoliosis for the rest of her life.
Oh, jeez.
Which causes apparently intense pain. And she was screaming, "Please make it stop, it hurts, and they thought she was acting. And so they kept shaking her, doing even more damage to her spine.
Oh, Jesus.
It was because people were like, oh, well, it's kind of similar to what she's supposed to be saying in the script.
Right.
And so they just kept filming.
Yeah,
like,
maybe it'd be an ad-libbed thing.
Yeah, maybe she's just changing it up a little bit. But yes, basically they destroyed her back in that harness.
That sucks.
And it's plagued her to this day.
Poor Linda Blair. and then to further make matters worse, they released The Exorcist Believer.
Oh, well, that is pretty bad.
The greatest curse of all.
I wasn't going to get into that curse, but still. So her mother, like daughter, like mother, Jay. She also had a horrible back injury on the set.
Jeez.
So she was supposed to be pushed away by Reagan's demonic powers. And so obviously that's somebody pulling on a harness with her in it. Well, apparently the guy pulled way too hard and slammed her back into the wall, causing lifelong pain for her as well.
Oh, jeez.
Fracturing some vertebrae. So you're like, that seems unlucky. But, what you going to do? Stuff happens on film sets.
Right.
So, all told, an assistant cameraman, while he was filming some pickup shots in Iraq, mysteriously dropped dead.
Wow.
Nobody knows why. He fell dead while he was at his camera. Another lightning strike, Jay. This time actually killed somebody on
Wow.
the set in Iraq. So, apparently the devil's getting better with his aim.
Yep.
And apparently the devil spends a lot of time on movie sets, too, Jay. It makes sense why things are so good in every other aspect of our lives. So you're thinking, a lot of people did. Ultimately, it was, I believe, 9 crew members total who died filming the movie in various roles.
That's wild.
So with the combination of the injuries, the misfortunes, and the deaths, a lot of people think that was a cursed movie. But let's flip to the other side of the script, Jay. What if, say you were going to make a movie about Christ, Jay, and say you had a lot of passion for it?
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes, Jay, that's what I was talking about. No, Jay. We're talking, of course, about Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ.
Oh boy, I wish a meteor had struck the set and wiped all of them out.
Similar to some certain accidents on other movie sets, there were quite a few incidents on the Passion of the Christ. So, we got some more lightning, Jay. So, they were filming a few hours from Rome, and Jim Caviezel, the guy who plays Christ,
Right.
he was up on the cross. He was struck by lightning while he was on the cross, and the assistant film director was struck by lightning and almost died.
Shame.
And that was not... So that was the first time that the actor playing Christ had been struck, but it was actually the second time that the assistant director had been struck by lightning on this production.
Oh my god.
2 weeks earlier, he'd been struck by lightning trying to shoot some scenes in Rome.
That guy should go buy a lottery ticket.
But surprisingly, it's almost like these lightning strikes were a warning, because they didn't do nearly as much damage as people thought they did, and they were both able to recover.
Right.
So it's almost like somebody was telling them not to film this movie, Jay. So, you think, that's probably the end of the lightning, right? Well, no, this assistant director, he was responsible for filming a lot of the scenes with Jim Caviezel playing Christ, like wide shots, pickup shots, things like that.
Right.
He was holding an umbrella in town in Italy, and his umbrella was struck by lightning, Jay. And Jim Caviezel was struck again when they tried to refilm the scene where Jesus is crucified.
We need to we need to stop filming in Lightning Alley. Like,
and there were people standing back, to get the shot. They said Jim Caviezel literally had smoke coming out of his ears after the lightning strike. So I don't know, Jay. Seems weird. It seems a little weird.
That does seem weird.
That so many people would get struck by lightning trying to make this movie about Christ. Now, during the filming, Jim Caviezel was like, I want to make this whipping realistic. So he had them use real whips. They were just supposed to whip, like off to the side a little bit. So it looked like he was being whipped.
Right.
But he wasn't actually supposed to have the flesh flayed off his back, Well, turns out he had poor aim, Jay, one of the Roman soldiers who was whipping him, and totally destroyed all the skin on his back. And he was screaming for them to stop, but they also thought it was just him acting. So he literally was like, he got his 40 lashes. But real. He was like, this guy hit it. He must have been like, these are some big guys playing these Roman soldiers. He said when the first whip crack hit him, it literally like knocked the wind out of him, and he also couldn't breathe the entire time he was being whipped. So, there's that. But that wasn't the end of Jim Caviezel's injuries and misfortunes on the set, Jay. He dislocated his shoulder doing the scene where he carries the cross on his shoulder, and did permanent damage to his shoulder. Apparently, it's never been the same since. Apparently, the day that they finally were able to film the crucifixion scene, there was an incredibly cold breeze, and he was almost naked, of course, for that scene.
Right.
He ended up getting frostbite from filming that scene, and he had hypothermia from being so cold for so long, because they had to leave him up there for about 6 hours. And he ended up getting a lung infection and pneumonia and almost died.
I mean, it's all this stuff is sad, but knowing what I've heard about working with Jim Caviezel and how he's an absolute nightmare to work with, it's kind of funny. Like
It is a little funny. But yes, apparently he also developed constant migraines from the weight of the prosthetics and makeup he had to wear. So he was always having like a horrible headache and sensitive to light while filming a movie, so that's probably not great. But the biggest curse, Jay, was the curse to his career, because Jim Caviezel has not had a great movie career
He
after
sure
Passion of
hasn't.
the Christ. The only thing I think because I believe Mel Gibson is making a sequel
yes,
to The Passion of the Christ. And
that's at least being talked
yes,
about.
he is involved in that. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot he's been involved in.
He had that show on CBS. That's where I've heard all the stories about him just being a nightmare to work with on set.
But you would think with a movie that was that successful, because it was hugely successful,
Right.
it would have launched his career. But no, actually, it really didn't. He's been in a bunch of B movies, a bunch of TV shows. I mean, the one that stands out to me, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a Denzel Washington movie called Deja Vu.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, he's pretty good as the villain in that. But other than that, I really haven't seen a whole lot from him, so I think the curse may have extended to his career.
Yeah, seems like it.
God tried to kill him on set, Jay, but he just wouldn't die. And he must have been protected by the devil from the Omen set. And so God just cursed his career instead. So I don't know that all of this proves there's any kind of curse or any kind of like conspiracy theory around these movies, but it seems like there's some awful weird coincidences to me, Jay.
There are.
I mean, the most convincing curse for me is still the Omen.
No, that all that stuff is absolutely wild.
I think the Omen might actually have been cursed by a demon.
Right. No, I completely agree with you there. That is bonkers, all that stuff.
All right, Jay, let's wrap it up with one final conspiracy theory. You ever heard of a little movie called The Boys from Brazil?
I have not.
Now, this movie was not cursed. This covers a common conspiracy subject with a twist, Jay.
Okay.
So I'm sure you've heard that Hitler did not die at the end of World War II, Jay.
I mean, yeah, that's...
He escaped to Argentina. Well, he didn't. He died.
Right.
But lots of Nazis did escape to South America, which used to be a conspiracy theory, which is now just proven common knowledge.
Right.
But that's not what this is about, Jay.
No, the fact that, like, there's a large German population in, like, Argentina and Brazil, and it's, like, the second largest, like, Oktoberfest in the world.
And they found Nazi gold and other things in South America. But yes, so all of that on its own, what used to be a conspiracy theory, but now has been proven. Well, in this movie, Jay, so Joseph Mengele, a famous Nazi who did escape, even though he was probably, I would have to say, in the ranking of Nazis, probably one of the worst.
Probably the worst one, yeah.
Because his experiments at the concentration camps are like some of the most brutal stuff you've ever heard.
Yep.
And he just treated human beings like they were nothing.
Yep.
So he escapes to South America with some other Nazis. And a little connection to bring it all back, starring Gregory Peck as the investigator trying to track these guys down.
Ooh.
So they're trying to clone Hitler, Jay. Except this time they're raising him in a stable home environment instead of the way he was raised.
Okay.
Because they think that will give him his political abilities to like rally people to his cause, but without the crazy anti-Jewish hate thing that he developed, and without suffering the experiences he suffered in World War I.
Right.
That led him to, hate everybody. So they think that's a great idea. We're going to raise some Hitler clones. And so Gregory Peck goes down there and investigates, and he's like, who are all these people? And it's revealed they're all clones of Hitler at various stages of development. There's like boys ranging from like 5 to almost adults. They're all clones of Hitler. But just this gave me a good discussion idea. So what do you think about all these Hitler survived World War II conspiracy theories, Jay?
That they're probably I mean, I don't know. It's pretty fake. I mean,
it used to be. I was like, oh, I don't think that's true. But some information has come to light, Jay, that has made me wonder, did he? Because it's not like the government would ever admit that he actually survived.
Right.
Because that would be embarrassing egg on their face. So there was a flight, Jay, that landed on the Rhine River the night that Hitler supposedly killed himself. And for whatever reason, it was not shot down. It was allowed to land and leave. And some people speculate that Hitler may have been on that flight. And the reason they speculate that is because for years, the Soviet Union said, oh, we found Hitler's body. We captured his bunker. Well, when the Soviet Union fell and the West got access to their files, they never actually did find Hitler's body. It was all a hoax. Stalin just said that they did because he wanted closure, like we did, that yes, Hitler is definitely dead.
Interesting.
So I'm not saying that Hitler survived. I mean, obviously, he still wouldn't be alive today.
No,
he would be 120 years old or whatever. But I'm not 100% sure anymore that he may not have slipped out at the last moment.
Yeah, that would have been. That's certainly an interesting thought.
Because it would be a very Hitler thing to do, Jay, to abandon your country after trashing it.
Oh man, all I can think of when you talked about Hitler clones, all I can think of was Venture Brothers and they cloned Hitler into the dog.
Yes, that. Oh my God, we'll have to do a Stocking Stuffers about Venture Brothers at some point.
Oh, what a great show!
It's got so many weird horror plot lines to it.
I need to watch the movie. I've still not gotten around to doing that yet. I
have not either. But yes, The Boys from Brazil, 1978 movie, worth checking out if you've never seen it.
Okay, yeah, I'll add it to the list.
But that's the end of what I've got, Jay. Unless you want to do a horror movie quiz.
Oh, always. That seems to be one of our general a general thing on these stocking stuffers now.
All right. Let me see if I can find the quiz I found for you, Jay. The ultimate scream-inducing quiz.
Oh man.
How did Malcolm die in The Sixth Sense, Jay?
Is that Bruce Willis's character?
Yes. We have car accident, aneurysm, gunshot, or he drowned.
I feel like it was a car accident.
Incorrect.
Oh, jeez.
Apparently, he was shot.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right, let's continue on the ultimate scream-inducing quiz, Jay. In what modern 2018 horror movie did the actress who played Lynn Shear in The Sixth Sense also star? We have The Nun, Suspiria, A Quiet Place, and Hereditary.
Hey, man, you know me. I'm always bad at with actors and actresses. Oh, geez. Let's go with The Nun. Why not? There were a lot of old ladies in that movie.
Unfortunately, no, Jay. It was Hereditary.
Okay. Oh, that was my second guess.
I picked The Nun as well, so I also didn't know. So who directed the 2010 classic horror film Insidious, Jay?
What's his name?
He's very famous at this point.
James Wan.
Correct. That's a point on the board for Jay.
All right. We're on the board. Don't call it a comeback.
Where's the 2019 horror movie Midsommar set, Jay?
Shoot.
We got Denmark. We got Sweden. We got Switzerland, and we got Norway.
Oh, cool. So all one of the four countries, like all countries I would have thought of.
Yes.
I'll say Sweden.
You would be correct.
Oh, all right.
All right. So what happens to the characters in Midsommar, Jay?
I mean, in general, they get Wicker Man. We get different people getting sacrificed.
They have to escape a murderous lion. They get kidnapped and have to escape a tiny room. They get chased through the woods by a demon, or they get wrapped up in a pagan cult.
They get wrapped up in a pagan cult.
Yes, correct.
I'd like to see I'd like to see those other movies.
I know those all sound pretty interesting too. All right, Jay. What movie was the inspiration for Jordan Peele's directorial debut, Get Out? And also, in my view, one of the only good movies he's ever made.
Oh, see, my favorite's Us. I think Us is my favorite of the Jordan Peele. What is like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something like that?
Your options are Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, The Stepford Wives, and All the President's Men.
I mean, man, it could be Stepford Wives or Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Or Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, honestly. It could be any of those three. I don't think it's All the President's Men.
Yeah. I mean, man, that would just be like asking Jordan Peele. I'm just going to say Stepford Wives.
Correct.
All right.
Jay. Your next three questions will earn you double points.
Okay.
I don't know what that matters. Oh, really? Ultimate Scream quiz. What was the name of the serial killer in Halloween, Jay?
Oh, man. Jason Myers.
William Shatner.
Michael Voorhees.
We all know it. What is Michael
Freddy
Myers'
Face.
mask, Jay?
So it's William Shatner.
It's a Bill Clinton mask.
But wasn't it also like, wasn't the other option like James Brolin or something like that?
There is a James Brolin mask. There's also a Bill Clinton mask, even though that would have been way too late.
Like just the idea like how different the Halloween franchise would be if it was James Brolin mask instead of William Shatner.
All right, Jay. What is the name of the clown in It?
Pennywise.
Ugh. Hopefully it's the 1992.
Yeah, hopefully the Tim Curry one.
All right. What type of horror creature is Let the Right One In about?
I've not seen that, but I'm pretty sure it's vampires.
You are correct, sir. I can't believe you haven't seen that.
I know, I've heard it's really good. It's one of those that like I need to see. I've just never gotten around to.
The American remake is actually pretty solid too.
I think that's what I've heard. I've heard, like one of those where they're both really good.
Chloe Grace Moretz plays the vampire in that one. Of what religion are the main characters in 2015's The Witch, Jay?
I mean, Puritans.
Correct.
The Vavitch.
The Witch. The Blub Witch.
That's one that I would like. I've not seen the Vavitch. A lot of these I've not seen.
Really?
Which is
surprised.
more.
Even I've watched Old Black Phillip.
Which is like, which is more an indictment on me than.
What is the purpose of the cabin in the woods in the 2011 movie of the same name?
I mean, I don't know what their things are, but it's basically works as like, sacrifices
To perform a human sacrifice.
Yep, to the old gods that live under the earth.
What is the name of the killer in Psycho, Jay?
Norman Bates.
Correct. What color is Patrick Bateman's business card in American Psycho, Jay?
Oh, I have no idea.
We got eggshell, we got white, we got off-white, and we got bone.
I mean, bone would probably be the most on brand, but I'm gonna say eggshell.
I was say you got to remember that his character is incredibly stuck up in this. So
Right.
I'm guessing. Apparently, it was actually bone.
Okay, darn. Bone makes the most sense.
Where do the characters go in The Descent, Jay?
I mean, they go like spelunking through caves.
You're correct. A network of caves. Who is the father of Rosemary's Baby?
The devil.
Correct, Jay. What is the name of
Rosemary's husband.
Well, yes, that's true too, Jay. But what's the name of the demon in The Exorcist?
Pazuzu.
Correct.
Also the name of the gargoyle in that episode of Futurama.
Where is the 2002 American remake of Ringu set, Jay?
Oh shoot. Where this is the American remake?
Yes.
Oh man, the Pacific Northwest. I assume like Washington.
You want to say Seattle?
Oh sure, let's say
That's
Seattle.
the only Pacific Northwest thing. You are correct. Who are the antagonists in The Others, Jay?
I don't. Ghosts. I don't know.
No, Jay. Apparently it's... Wait a minute. Hold on. It's saying that you're incorrect, but The Others, I'm pretty sure, is ghosts. But apparently it's saying it's people?
Oh, is that the one where they're the ghosts?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah. They think they're living in the house or whatever, but
Right.
it's actually they've died and there's people living in their house now.
Yep.
What gets dropped onto Carrie's head, Jay?
Pig's blood.
Correct.
And maybe a meteor. Is that what happened in the remake? I feel like there's something with
guess.
like a meteor coming into Earth or something.
How many lambs are there in Silence of the Lambs, Jay?
None.
Correct.
It's the Kane from Citizen Kane.
How do the spirits communicate with Carol Ann in Poltergeist, Jay?
Through the TV.
Correct. All right. Who is the 13th ghost in 13 Ghosts, Jay?
Tony Shalhoub's wife.
We have Elaine, we have Benjamin Rush, we have Buck Zorba, and we have Satan.
I guess I'm gonna say Elaine. I don't know.
Incorrect. Apparently, it's Benjamin Rush.
Oh, is that the because like his uncle was also
Yeah, I think that's
or
what,
something. I don't know.
apparently that's what they're going for. All right, Jay. Who directed Alien?
Ridley Scott.
Who can't make a good movie to save his life anymore, but whatever. I'm still hoping Gladiator 2 is a success.
I mean, that new Alien thing is coming out. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not directing it, though,
Okay.
I don't think. That Alien Romulus or
Yeah.
whatever. I think that's somebody else, which gives me hope.
I mean, I liked Prometheus. Okay,
Yeah, it was okay.
like I think people are too hard on that movie. That movie's a lot of fun.
I like it, but it also doesn't really feel like an alien movie to me. It feels more like a space adventure.
Right.
Honestly, it gives me kind of Interstellar vibes.
It's Interstellar meets it's Interstellar, and then kind of at the end, oh hey, here's
an
also
alien.
there's aliens.
There's aliens in here. All right, Jay. In which film does the protagonist find a pair of sunglasses that reveal the hidden alien overload?
They Live, starring Hot Rod, Rowdy Roddy Piper.
One of the best movies ever made.
I agree.
I have come here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum, Jay.
Oh man. R.I.P. to one of the best wrestlers ever.
Here, you have to see this one, Jay. What is the name of this character?
Nosferatu.
Yeah. No,
Klausferatu.
actually, it's Klausferatu.
In retrospect, we should have done more of a Klausferatu joke on the last episode.
Yeah, I think that was a missed opportunity. What's the name of the hotel in The Shining, Jay?
Man, some of these questions are repeating. It was the Overlook Hotel.
Yes. I know. Some of these quizzes share a lot of questions. What does Jeff Goldblum turn into in the 1986 movie he's famous for?
Velociraptors. No, The Fly.
Yes, Velociraptors. All right, Jay.
You know that movie where Jeff Goldblum becomes a sexy velociraptor?
What famous TV show did the star, director, and writer of A Quiet Place also star in, Jay?
The Office.
Boo. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, some of the episodes, I would have ended it when Jim and Pam got married. I like certainly those later seasons have some funny moments, but nowhere near as good as like those first 3, 4, or whatever seasons.
What is considered the first ever horror movie, Jay?
Oh shit! I think we already did this, and I don't remember.
We have Satan se dervite, Nosferatu, Le Manoir de Diablo, and Shinin no Sosi.
Let's go with the last one. Sure, why not?
No, Jay. It was La Manoir de Diable.
Okay.
The House of the Devil.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
1896.
And then I said the thing about Ty West's House of the Devil.
You did pretty good, Jay. 24 out of 30.
Oh, man. All right.
You did extremely well. Yeah. All right. That's a note to end on.
All right. Well, and listener, you did extremely well getting through this episode.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed our crazy conspiracy theory talk.
But yeah, check us out on social media, all the places, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky,
YouTube.
X, formerly known as Twitter.
Check us out on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe on YouTube. I want to see that subscriber count going up.
Yeah, we got to 40 yesterday, which was pretty exciting. Maybe we'll do something fun if we get to 100 or something. I don't know.
I think we should do 100 subscriber special.
And then otherwise, follow us on your podcatcher of choice.
Leave us those 5-star hate reviews.
Yeah, 5-star reviews talking about how bad a job we do. And certainly, tell a friend. Like we always say, that's the most important thing. That word of mouth more than anything else, I think helps spread the word about this podcast.
We got a couple things to tease too. You want to tease the movie, Jay?
Oh yeah, the next episode we will do D. Wallace's Red Christmas.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and tease my next stocking stuffer. It may be a few weeks because Jay and I usually alternate stocking stuffers.
Yeah, we'll see.
But we're gonna do some horror elements in Middle Earth for all you Lord of the Rings fans out there.
Oh man, I'm so excited to talk about The Hobbit. I mean, the only Lord of the Rings thing I've read.
There are some surprisingly scary moments in The Hobbit for a children's book, Jay.
Yeah, I like The Hobbit.
Being attacked and wrapped up by giant spiders is pretty creepy.
It is pretty creepy. All right, well, we'll see you again in a week when we talk about Red Christmas, and like I said, probably 2 weeks for stocking stuffer, probably about Lord of the Rings. We'll see.
We don't know.
Thanks for listening.
It might be a Jay stocking stuffer. You can tune out for that one.
People seem to.
Wow. Oh, poor Jay.
Bye.